So you're a killer?
Sir, yes, sir!
Let me see your war face.
Sir!
You got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face.
Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Basic Billiards at Channel Starface. I am SithLordFelix, always with the genius, Bryan at FX Billiards. How are you, Bryan?
Doing good.
Good. What's new with you this week?
I'm laughing because we had a conversation 30 seconds ago where you were asking me how I was doing, and I gave you a totally different answer. But
yeah, that's fine.
But for the audience, I'm doing great.
Fantastic! No, right? Woo! I hear that, man.
I'm sorry. So you asked me a question. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent.
No.
You know, when I have a bad week, it's still better than a lot of other people's weeks. So I'm doing. That's the way I look at it.
Hey, it's better than no week at all at the end of the day. Am I right?
I guess.
Maybe, right? Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can tone this down. Right now, I'm against the clock because I'm waiting for this video to upload to show you a couple of clips. Nothing crazy. But what's new in pool? I did see you're sharing some of your lessons on your channel. And forgive me, the name is escaping me right now. But from a specific lesson set that you're teaching.
I'm not sure what you're referencing.
Okay, let me look at your channel because I just saw a couple of good ones.
The last couple I put up were optimizing your time, or the time you spend at the table, or the optimal time pattern that you shoot. You might have come across some older ones, but yeah, I think the last thing I put up was about, you know, the amount of time you spend between shots. And
understood.
Best utilizing that. So I honestly knock out my videos in blocks, and I probably have about 10 or 15 that are already recorded. So when I release them, sometimes I've recorded it 3 months ago. So
yikes.
I don't always remember what I just released because they kind of all merged together. But
well, we should talk about the internal shot clock because that is a recurring theme with my game specifically.
Yeah.
Right, because I become Speedy Gonzalez on the table sometimes, and then I get on the 8-ball, I slow it down to like matrix speed, and then miss.
And that's a really bad habit. Think of how many people they've been in a zone through the first 7 shots, and then they get on the 8, and all of a sudden they change their pace. They're, you know, all of a sudden they can hear the crowd when they couldn't hear it before. They see the table differently. I mean, everything changes, and you really should have a rhythm to the way you play. And and I found that my rhythm, well, it depends on the game. But my rhythm is somewhere around I guess it was around the 10 or 12 second mark, which is pretty quick.
It was fast.
Yeah, but there are certain shots that I was north of 30 seconds. So my key ball shot tends to take the longest, and right after the break, because right after the break, I'm surveying the table and you know, basically running the rack in my head. So that takes a little bit longer. But once I've done that, you know, it's pretty quick. So
So for those
internal shot clock.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. Now, for those who don't know, which I seriously doubt, I'm pretty sure that anybody who's watching my pool channel is because of your channel. But if for some reason, some are here that have not subscribed to FX Billiards, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. Whether you want to learn pool or not, you're going to get a lot of really cool plays, a lot of cool clips. But if you're trying to learn, then you're definitely going to take it up a notch, and you're going to get some excellent lessons. How long have I been with you so far? A year or something? I don't know. It's getting, I don't know how my clock is running. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, no, and my game is totally improved tremendously, and I really think I overcame a plateau this past week.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, you won't be seeing that clip because this clip that I have that's uploading is actually from a few days prior to my league game.
Okay.
My league game. Now, it's funny. I lost, but I still played good. Does that make sense?
So, I've been told
I shot well.
Yeah. So if I go back about 15 years ago, I played in the Super Billiard Expo for the first time. And I was eliminated in the first round. I was playing 9-ball. I was an 8-ball and straight pool player. It was like the first time I played 9-ball competitively. And I was told by spectators that was the best pool you ever played. And I said, well, I got eliminated in the first round. And they said, you didn't play one defensive shot. Because I was a very aggressive 8-ball player. For those that don't know, I don't play a lot of tournaments. I'm a money player. Okay, so I don't play a lot of tournaments. I don't stress over Fargos and shit like that. I play for money. And so this was like the first tournament atmosphere that I played. And the problem is a lot of times the races are very short. So when you're playing for money, very often it'll go 2 hours. You got time to catch up. You're playing large sets or whatever the case. I didn't play one defensive shot. I played 5 jump shots.
No defense, no safeties.
And that formula equals you're shooting good, but you're not going to win. So
if you would have just gotten it,
I just had no concept of playing defense, at least in 9-ball. I mean, I played it in straight pool, I played it in 8-ball, but I saw a shot. Hey, if I jump this ball,
boom,
I'll shoot. As opposed to maybe I should play defense right here. You can play really well. To answer your question, you can play really well on Louis.
Yeah. And it was, it's the tale as old as time. I think the first match, actually, my opponent sank the 8-ball early, so that don't count for anything. The second match, I ran 6, and then missed the 8-ball, and then the guy ran out on me, and it was, and I even did like really good pattern play, position play. You would have been proud. Unfortunately, I have an issue recording the live game. Sometimes, my opponent doesn't want that or whatever. So I just kind of, stay away from recording APA games now.
Yeah.
But still, then I think the next game, it was like a similar situation where I ran like 4 or 5 in a row. And then I got stuck on either the key ball or the 8-ball. And, we were both on the 8 at the end, obviously, and I just missed this really should have been easy cut shot, and it just kind of rattled in there, and then just gave pretty, when it rattles in the pocket, kind of stays in there, and just kind of gave the other guy the game there,
Yeah.
But had him sweating for a little bit.
I've definitely seen your game improve, and one of the good things that we do with the lessons is record them, and and then I post them so students can watch them. I do eventually take them down, so I don't know if we have your original lessons up there, but I don't think I have the ones from more than a year ago.
Right, probably not. I would have.
Somebody got upset because he thought I took his lessons down. I'm like, no, I do about 25 a week for the last, since I guess 2.5 or 3 years. So they just start piling up on, on the site, and just to make them manageable, I take some of them down. But yeah, it's pretty cool to look back and see where you were versus where you are right now.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point. Let me see what we can do here, because this is going to take forever to load. Let's see if I can pull up some of my old shorts here. And by shorts, I mean YouTube shorts, not my literal shorts. Get your head out of the gutter, people. But let's see some of these old clips, and let's run these down here.
Okay.
Go back to, where are we at here? December 9th, 2022. We can go further back than that. God. So, all right. While I look up stuff here, let me ask you this. What do you think, what would you say the difference is between like a money game and a league game mentally?
The funny thing is, when I took my family, my cousins, into the league, it was about 15 years ago. I introduced them to, I said, hey, we should join the APA. And it was so that we would be together. We're a pretty large family, but we only see each other Christmas and Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving and Christmas, we would see each other. But this brought us together where we were seeing each other every week, which was the coolest part to it. I felt more stress when I played with them in the league, because I was the best player by a long shot. And I felt more stress with that because it was a team thing, Right. So for me, it might be different because, if I have a bad day in a money game, it stops right there. Whatever I was playing for, if I lost, it was done. But the league, because it's a team thing, and because the season matters,
right?
I take a loss more seriously, because a loss in January applies to what's going to happen in March.
Yeah.
Not many people were counting on me to carry the team. So for me, that was one difference. But anybody that's playing for any amount of money that they would stress over is playing over their head. So
like poker.
If you're I gotta win today, then you're playing for too much money.
Playing for too much money. Right. So that's the one thing I can relate that with is poker. And for anybody out there who plays poker for money, if you're sweating the hand because your rent is on the line or something like that, you're definitely doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Bankroll management.
I played professional poker for 2.5 years, and I saw every possible scenario. I saw 3 brothers lose 4 restaurants. Okay. These guys were all compulsive gamblers, and they owned 4 restaurants when I met them, and they owned 1 restaurant the last time I saw them, because they were over their heads all the time, but they were addicted to it. And they were from Iraq, I believe. They never described. They would never say we're from Iraq. They would say we're from Persia. And we were, as countries, we were really having some issues. We were dropping bombs on their area
at the time. Yeah.
At the time. So I understood why they never said their home country that way. And but I love those guys. They were the nicest guys ever. But yeah, They were over their head. They were over their head in every hand. But they just and
what are you gonna do? They'll just keep going, chasing that rush or whatnot. And
exactly. But it was a shame that it wasn't one of them that could pull the reins in. They were just. But yeah, there were stories like that every day. They weren't. I pick on them because they stand out in my mind. But there are a bunch of people.
For sure. No, yeah, and I've seen it too. Like, all right, so just to kind of switch the subject to poker a little bit, and we'll tie this into pool since we're talking money here. One trick that I would do with poker was I picked my game. That's number one, and for me it was very easy, sit and go, low stakes. You know what I mean? And the way I would do it, like let's say I'm coming with $100. Let's keep it nice and small here. $100. I'm playing a few $10 sit and goes, $5 sit and goes, $10 sit and goes, and keep it at that, because what you see is you're only spending about 5 or 10% of your bankroll at a time, and it actually increases your odds to win overall, especially if you're playing good poker. Now, I would kind of imagine that carries over to pool, that you don't want to go blow your wad of cash like on like right away and go, oh, let's do $50 a ball. Let's see where we're at here. You know, let's gamble. You know.
Well, kind of comparing the two. First off, anyone who's watching that doesn't know what a sit and go is, learn, because sit and goes are probably the best way, especially for amateur players. It is the best way. You invest, you invest $10 for a chance to win a $50 first place, or in many of them, you pay down to the first 3 places.
That's right.
Online poker, when you're playing online, it is absolutely, everybody I know that plays pro online plays sit and goes. Right?
Sit and go.
Cash games, but for the most part, and they're hard to find now, especially in the legal world of online poker. What I mean by that is when everything was overseas, everything was offshore. All right.
Yeah.
The game's actually bigger and better because you were dealing with the worst players around the world.
It's fish everywhere.
Yeah. Now I have a house in Pennsylvania and I have a house in Delaware. So I can play on Delaware's site and I can play on Pennsylvania's site. But the games are so small and there's so few because you only get to pull from that state. And so you have the guy in Japan that's going to blow, 10 grand this month or whoever. And the other thing that happens is when the games get smaller, the bad players, they lose their bankroll. So you end up with better players. The longer it goes, the better the players become.
The better the players come. The more you got to take some risks here and there. The blinds start going up. My issue with cash games, sorry, but it's like with cash games is you could spend like 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours patient at the table, going in with your pairs, going in with your ace kings and whatever, and slowly build up your your bankroll, and then lose your entire stash in one freaking hand.
Yeah,
can't do that.
Take a lot of patience. At least with the sit and go, when you get down, to the high blinds, you get to push a lot more often.
Yeah, which gets fun.
Yeah, it gets fun. You're all in on 10 hands in a row.
2-4 suited. Okay, I like my chances.
Yeah, because the blinds are so large relative to the size of the bankrolls. But yeah, sit and goes are. I'm glad you mentioned that when it came to poker, because it is the absolute best way for
best. Or like the tournament, right? Like a 50-person or 500-person tournament. Free rolls are always fun. I actually won free rolls, and I think that's a testament to skill. If you can win a free roll, that shows you, because you're just
nobody has anything invested.
Yeah, seriously, no one has a care in the world. They'll just go in 6-7 offsuit, first hand, first hand, all in, and crack your aces.
Same thing with rebuys. There's a skill to playing in tournaments that have a lot of rebuy. Yeah, because there's some people that are just going to rebuy all the time, so they're pushing when they shouldn't, and you can't. The downside of playing bad players is you can't ever put them on a hand because they're doing the most absurd things that
you don't know what the hell they got. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, part of playing poker is to make decisions based on what an intelligent person on the other side would do.
Yeah, you see their bet, right? Like
person on the other side.
Yeah. No, there's something. Yeah, it's funny.
The number one line of somebody getting a bad beat is, "You're an idiot." The guy scoops his chips.
Yeah.
Look at that idiot scooping his chips.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Right. He'll pull over at 2-5, and you're like, your 3 aces get crushed, right? Because there's a straight. Like, why would you do that? You went all in and like pre-flop. That doesn't make sense. You're like, what? Yeah. I know what that means. I know what that's like.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to pool before we run out of time.
I know. Seriously, I know, right? Yeah. Back to pool. So I've had this run in. This is just an old clip. I have a reason for picking this one. This is a very special highlight video of mine, which I'll leave a link to in the description. But this was from, I want to say, yeah, I know that was bad. The video was from, let me get the date on that. When did I upload this? 6 months ago.
Okay.
Why have an easy shot when I can just sail it?
This is like a video on recovery shots.
Yeah.
How to make 3 recovery shots in a row.
Oh my God. Yeah. I guess that's actually, I need that name in my vocabulary, because that is, I'm constantly making myself have to recover for no reason.
Let's go back about 3 minutes. I want to go back to the shot before the 1.
Is this no, this isn't it.
No, that's not it. Yeah, it's right
here
after this. All right, so here, I was trying to figure out why you shot a draw shot, but I see now. Okay, so the 1 is not a bad key ball here.
But I messed up there. I should have did a follow instead of a draw.
Yeah.
Right? I'm
So
I'm trying
to... You get yourself on the 3 and let the 3 get you on the 1, and the 1 is a great key ball. 3 is not the best key ball.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why you 2 draw shots there when... Okay.
I hooked myself on the 8 where I really should have just did that follow shot and been a little closer to the rail. I would have gotten a nice angle on the 1. So big mistake.
Yeah.
But hey,
something that will help people find good patterns, you should kind of ask yourself, which pattern is the cue ball going to travel the least amount? All right. So we looked at that, how much travel there was and going up and down the table and all of that for the 8 ball, and the 3 took you all the way down there and all of that. So that's about, I don't know, 25 feet worth of travel, where you had, for the most part, follow, you're out. The cue ball moved a whole 10 feet during the entire exchange. So.
Well, I had to relearn something this week, and it really opened up my game tremendously. And this is an early fundamental lesson, and it's like I got into this habit of whacking the ball when I'm trying to get speed and move around the table and stuff, and that always backfires. And like I kind of had to relearn that it's kind of comes down to the stroke. Like a longer stroke will give you that result that you're looking for of like applying spin and, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I?
No, you're absolutely right. I might have said it on this channel, but I wrote an article years ago called 10 Reasons Your Pool Game Sucks. And the opening paragraph was, I've never seen you shoot before. Number 1, you hit the ball too hard. That was and people are like, how do you know me? It's everybody. You're as soon as you say amateur, you got a guy that's hitting the ball too hard. Anybody that plays at a high level is probably hitting the ball much softer than the guy who's playing at a medium or a low level. You move the ball around with finesse and a good stroke, and you don't need to hit it hard. The number one thing I hear from people that play with me in person after watching me on YouTube is I never realized how soft you hit the ball. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't come across on the screen as much, but you're just rolling into position on a lot of shots. I mean, I might hit a long draw shot at 8 miles an hour because I've got to get the ball, doing all of that spin. But for the most part,
that's a rarity. And that's it's a rarity. And I had to relearn that, man. This is like one of the first things. Maybe when I first started playing, it was like, slow down your stroke. If you really want that follow or that, it's the length of the stroke. The more whack you put into it, your accuracy suffers. Well, let me speak for myself. My accuracy suffers tremendously.
Everyone's does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people can improve their game 20% just by slowing down, just by hitting the ball slower. Because they're taking a difficult thing and making it far more difficult. By the way, old school guys used to practice by hitting the ball hard. Actually, if you watch Shane in a practice session, it's just Shane in a room, he's hitting the hell out of the balls because it adds resistance. Because if I can make it at 15 miles an hour, I can make it at 5 miles an hour. So it's something that you do to add resistance. It's not something that you do to make shots. I have a student who I watched for the first time yesterday, and I said, "Dude," "you're a, he's an APA 6." I said,
"Wow."
I said, "You hit the ball, way too hard." He said, "Yeah, you remember your video about bad coaching?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "My APA coach told me that I didn't hit the balls hard enough." And I'm like, tell him to call me, because he has no idea what he's talking about. No idea. There's no such thing. Unless the ball doesn't reach the pocket.
Right. You hit it.
If you're parked outside the pockets because you didn't reach the pocket and you didn't reach your position. But I'm like, why are you listening to these people? There's a bunch of people giving. Part of me says, good. I'm glad there's so much trash. I like
more fish out there. Yeah.
Exactly. Like we say in poker, don't tap on the aquarium. Yeah, I think you hit the ball hard. You should play more hands. I think you should bluff more frequently.
Yeah. You almost got me, man. I really thought you had the aces on that. Wow. Thanks.
You definitely play those pocket threes to the river. Absolutely.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you should have chased that flush. No, that makes sense. Even though
exactly. How are you ever going to make a flush if you don't chase it?
You don't chase it. Yeah, it's not going to come to you. No, for real. Pre-flop, let's do it.
Torn between and please stop telling people what to do when you don't know what to do, even if you're a good player. There's a lot of guys that are APA 7s that I'm not sure how that happened. Okay, I think the algorithm was broke that year, but there's a lot of guys who are APA 7s that they're what we call unconscious competence. They can do things. They're usually shot makers on 7-foot tables, is what it boils down to.
Right.
But they can do things, but when they start to articulate to other people what to do, it doesn't translate. It just doesn't go over. It doesn't
translate.
Yeah. So
that makes sense. I'm just clearing the table here.
So that wasn't a bad run. You had good speed on that, by the way. Every shot was pretty decent speed.
Then I unlearned it.
This is a tough one. So you managed to avoid the scratch. You look relieved.
Yeah, totally. Oh, here we go. Let's end this on this. Actually, I should name this my first and only break and run. I have not recreated it yet.
But
tell me why I did this one.
Yeah, I think the good thing about this is you ended up running out, but people should pay attention to how clustered the balls are.
And I clustered them more.
Spread to run out, you know.
I got a little luck there. Look at that.
Yeah, so you got a re-break. All right, so that's what straight what we would call a re-break or a secondary break, where the balls aren't spread out, and now you spread them out. But yeah, a lot of some of these are shots of opportunity, but break and run is it's a good thing. And
sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
Sometimes you do. And I'll tell you something, a lot of times people overestimate the ability of pros, and they don't recognize that a lot of guys are a bad break away from not getting a break and run.
Yeah. Just a bad cluster.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, Federer ran 5 racks in a row. Federer's one of the first off, he's one of the 5 best players on the planet. But if I walked over after his break and clustered up to 3 and the 6,
there you go.
If it's a short rail, there's no run out. So you've got to recognize that there is a certain amount of luck involved in, I wouldn't say every run out, because sometimes we do something spectacular that breaks up a cluster or whatever. But there's a certain level of luck involved in it, and regardless of what the game is, because we do break the balls and they are somewhat random. So well done with that. But that's every sport. That is. There's no sport that I can think of that doesn't involve some level of luck. Something small.
That was a total. That 3 right there. I had no idea what I was doing on that 3, and like, I shouldn't say no idea. Like, I think there was a slight hope that I would get like some lucky roll, obviously, but that was. It almost looked planned, but if you could see that I just rushed it because I was just like, okay, let's break this up.
Well, run it back, because there's a shot right there. It's pretty obvious to me. You probably didn't identify it at that level, but there's a carom. The tangent line on the 3 and the strike head right for the pocket. So let's take a look.
Oh, the 3 and this. Okay, all right. So yeah.
Well, watch what happens. You make the 7 and you nudge the 3 into the rack.
Yeah. Right? I was hoping to break that cluster.
Yeah, don't expect that's going to happen with that kind of distance. And all right, so you freeze it right there.
Yeah.
You see that the 3 and the strike, if you look at the tangent line from those balls, it goes right into corner pocket. So it's a legitimate shot going on there.
Wow.
You just shoot it to the 3 ball on the right hand side, and it goes into the corner. So yeah, you didn't recognize the shot, but there is a
That's
shot
what
there.
I did. Interesting. Yeah, and I didn't even move the 6. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, no, that would have been a legitimate shot to call. I mean, top players would have saw that. And it worked out for you.
Wow, that worked out for me. If I would have just touched one of those balls, that run would have been over. One of those stripes.
Well, I always say that's the good thing about 8-ball is you get to shoot balls in the pocket, regardless of your level. You're going to shoot balls in the pocket. I saw a 2 and a 3. Both of them run like 5 balls because they would just up. Yeah.
I kind of planned this. I gotta say, It still definitely needed a little bit of luck, but you could tell this was intentional.
Nice.
I wanted more. I wanted to kind of be in the same spot where I was. I would like to be here,
Yeah.
You know?
You're also you're playing with compromised rails, and it's not the fastest cloth in the world. Look at that.
A bing bang boom, right? I didn't even have to like do like the E equals MC square equation to do that.
Exactly.
So,
Those guys never make kick shots anyway.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. Stay in the classroom, nerds.
Oh man,
No.
the best thing I can ever see if I'm playing somebody or thinking about playing somebody is a parallel shift or a peace sign. As soon as I see this, I'm like, okay, I want to play that guy. Peace sign, man. Can you come here, please?
Yeah. Dr. Dave Jr., come here. Let's have a chat.
8 and 9. Okay. No, I've never seen you shoot, but
yeah. Someone told me in my team, I won't name names because I do love my team. But someone on my team was like, yeah, do the peace sign and you'll know. I started laughing right there. Like, oh, okay. Oh, the peace. Okay, I see. Kind of kept that in my backpack, you know.
We have at FX Billiards. If you do this over the rack, if you do this over a rack, you know where the balls are going to go after the break.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to go that
Let's
way.
go, baby. The eagle.
So where are they
The
going
eagle
after
claw.
the break? They're going that way. Yeah.
You know, shit, man. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like I think. Go on.
I literally smacked the guy's hand. I took a student to my old school pool hall, and we were playing 8-ball games, and he gave me one of those. I walked over, like, we don't do that shit here. You're gonna get us killed.
That's it. You put a mark on us, man.
It's like being in New York City at night and going like this. I'm like, dude, are you trying to get mugged?
Yeah. Flashing them.
Leave your wallet on the sidewalk and walk away. I'm like,
I know, right? Pull out your Rolex in front of someone. Excuse me, sir. Is this the right time? Oh,
exactly.
Thank you. Where's Port Authority? No, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, forget about it, man. So there we are, man. Hopefully, I got to get some new clips. I have some new clips next week. This was the ones that I was trying to set up before. It was just taking a million years. So it'll probably be ready next week, and I'll have some new clips ahead. But is there anything you want to add, or anything we need to plug here to tell everybody where they can find you? Eagle, baby. Let's go. Fly away. Fly those pockets in there, baby.
Keep working on your game. You're doing good stuff, and good job on the channel. Keep hammering away. Too many guys give up things, and that's not the way it works.
Yeah, I won't let a dozen views stop me. No, but thank you so much, everybody. Please hit the like, hit subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. Don't go away, Brian. When I end the recording, I'm gonna talk to you for just 2 seconds.
Very good.
Everyone, God bless. Have a good one. We will see you next week. Take care.